Today we're going to take you to the Bynum Indian Mounds. They're located on the Natchez Trace near Houston, Mississippi. The Bynum Mounds are located along the Natchez Trace at milepost 232.4. And the Park Service says the Bynum Mound site is the oldest mound site along the Natchez Trace Parkway. These mounds were created by Native Americans in what was known as the Middle Woodland period. The mounds were built sometime between 100 BC and 100 AD. One mound is around 5 feet high and one is somewhere around 14 feet. There were originally 6 burial mounds and a habitation area at the Bynum site. 5 of the mounds were excavated by the National Park Service during the 1940s. And today you can see the 2 largest mounds that have been restored. At one end of the site there's a nice little information hut, I call it, with some pretty good interpretive signs to try to give you some information about how Native Americans lived and interacted with the site. This community of Native Americans were probably ancestors of the Chickasaw, and you see pictures of highly polished greenstone that would have had ceremonial use, a smooth round stone with a hole in the center used for a game called chunky, and now you see a polished copper spool that the Native American women would have wore as a symbol of their status. The greenstone, the copper, the galena, nor even the projectile points originate in the state of Mississippi. These things would have been imported through long-distance trade networks. During the excavation of the site, the remains of a woman placed between 2 parallel burned oak logs at the southernmost mound's base were found. This individual was found with 2 copper spools placed at each wrist. 3 additional sets of human remains were found, with cremated traces of 2 adults and 1 child. The largest mound at the site covered a log-lined crematory pit. An L-shaped row of polished greenstone axe heads and cremated and unburned remains were located on the crematory floor. I guess this would be a good time to remind you to hit that like button and maybe even subscribe. I know there's no way you could learn about these mounds without excavating some of them, but I left here with an uneasy feeling about such an invasion of a place that undoubtedly was very important to a people that inhabited it back around the time of Christ's crucifixion. Nonetheless, I want to encourage you to learn a little bit about the Native American culture in and around Mississippi. I hope you've enjoyed your visit to the Bynum Indian Mounds on the Natchez Trace today, and maybe you'll even check out a couple other videos we have on Mississippi Native American culture. Thank you.